All right, welcome into Writer's Block. Woo! All right, we catch our breath. We take in yesterday's free agency madness, which we talked about a lot here on CBS Sports HQ. Now we're going to rank next year's top 10 NBA teams, at least as we currently understand them. We'll talk some football with Pittsburgh running back James Conner on the show. And sorry, Knicks fans, we're going to have to speak truth to power to James Dolan. All of that starting right now from Los Angeles. What a 24 hours. KD is a net. Kemba is a Celtic. Butler looks like he's going to be a Heat. Kawhi remains a mystery. And we're going to do this. We're going to take, as best we can understand, the current landscape of the National Basketball Association, and we're going to rank teams, the top 10, from 10 to 1. But we'll start with an honorable mention. They don't make the Writer's Block top 10 teams in the NBA as currently constructed. The Brooklyn Nets. But man, their future is probably pretty bright. The fact that Kevin Durant's not going to be part of that team next year because of that Achilles injury, that Achilles rupture, that he won't be on the floor, means that Kyrie Irving and DeAndre Jordan, you see the contracts, they're really nice pieces, really nice additions to a group that's got a lot of depth. Spencer Dinwiddie's a nice player. Karis LeVert's a nice player. Joe Harris is a nice player. This is going to be a pretty interesting team. They just can't quite creep into our top 10 because the players on the roster, as interesting and as promising as they are going to be missing on the floor. That guy at the top there, Kevin Durant. So congratulations, Nets. You've done it. You did it. In the next few days, we're going to start the show with the best teams in the NBA 3 years from now, and I would imagine you're going to be pretty high on that list. Without further ado, number 10, the Boston Celtics. I know this feels like a loss, Boston fans, because you could have been in the top 3 or 4 had you retained some of the guys that you have, but you have to go with the lay of the landscape as you find it. Kyrie wasn't coming back. Horford obviously was going to go somewhere else. I like the Kemba Walker addition, at least in a vacuum. The fact that they found a superstar, I think that's what he is, an underrated all-star. You pair him, and I know no Terry Rozier, no Horford, no Irving. It's a problem, but you pair Kemba with Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum, Gordon Hayward. Got to find a center, got to find a big man. You're not going to be great. You're not going to be the favorites, but you're still a dangerous basketball team in large part because Kemba Walker is going to be as winning in the locker room as Kyrie Irving was off-putting. I don't think he's going to have a problem sharing the ball. His usage rate, largely a product of playing in a brutal, brutal situation in Charlotte in terms of the teammates around him. Love this Celtics team. They're at 10. Feels like a win. The team at number 9 feels like a mighty fall. I tried to put the Warriors a lot higher. I texted a whole bunch of sources this morning trying to figure out what I was missing about the D'Angelo Russell move. It sounds like I'm not missing anything. It is perplexing. It borders on bonkers. The Warriors fall to number 9. No Kevin Durant. No Andre Iguodala. No depth whatsoever. Even Kevon Looney may have to go. They are hard capped now as they bring in D'Angelo Russell from that Nets organization in that sign and trade. And I'm just going to be honest with you, I don't entirely get it. I find myself baffled, and I wonder if maybe the Warriors as we knew them, the dynasty as they were constructed, in fact, weren't more a product of Jerry West. And now that he's gone, maybe this is what a Bob Myers team looks like. Perhaps he's the Ted Thompson of the NBA, getting a lot of credit for things he probably shouldn't have. For Ted Thompson, it was because of Aaron Rodgers. Maybe for Bob Myers, it was the things that Jerry West did. This is a team that's going to be brutal defensively, especially without Klay Thompson. I don't understand what they're going to do in terms of playing this small in the Western Conference. I'd love to be proven wrong. I'd love to see, and I get the argument. You get D'Lo as a 23-year-old all-star, and maybe he grows into the gig, into the job. But this is a Warriors team that didn't have enough depth already, that was defensively starting to go in the wrong direction. It makes absolutely no sense to me. And Draymond Green, one of my favorite players in the game, but I got to go back to something you said not that long ago that, in retrospect, may not be accurate.
Everybody thinks it's kind of the end of us. That's just not smart. We're not done yet. You know, I hear a lot of that noise. It's the end of a run and all that jazz. I don't see it happening, though. We'll be back.
Dre, I was with you, dude. I really was. I thought that the pronouncements of your team's demise were overstated, to say the least. I was wrong. You were wrong. This is ugly. Draymond Green, by the way, unrestricted free agent a year from now. I'll be shocked if what remains in Golden State is as enticing to keep him as we thought it was going to be. At number 8 are the Houston Rockets. I know a lot of you have them higher, not me. They didn't work last year. They still have Chris Paul on that bloated contract, 3 years, $123 million. We now know publicly what a lot of us suspected privately, Chris Paul, James Harden not getting along. It's still a team that doesn't have the defensive pieces they had, not this past season, but the season before. I just don't buy the Rockets. They basically stood pat. They're going to get worse because Chris Paul is going to continue to age. And as you'll see, the Western Conference continues to improve. Sorry, Rockets fans. You're going to be interesting. You're better now than the Warriors, at least until Clay comes back, as you calibrate it with Clay's absence for a big chunk of the season. But I'm not high on Houston. I am high, or relatively high, on our team at number 7 as we count down the top 10 teams in the NBA. I really like what Portland's done. They re-signed Rodney Hood. They traded for Hassan Whiteside on an expiring contract. They have Kent Bazemore. And the Whiteside situation is interesting. If he's a disaster, it doesn't particularly matter. If he works, then Neil O'Shea, the GM, has gotten another athletic piece, a nice rim protector, a player that maybe with a fresh start can reclaim some of his max player excellence. And that's what you got to do in Portland. It's not a place you can recruit people. You're going to have to take guys off the scrap heap. Portland last year, as constructed, before you brought in Bazemore, before you brought in Whiteside, made a conference finals. We always sleep on these guys. Not going to sleep on them now. And again, Whiteside might be able to find his groove a little bit in an absolute change from Miami to the upper Northwest. I love the move. I love this next team at number 6. I almost put them higher. Just couldn't talk myself into the Utah Jazz higher than the 6th best team in the NBA. I understand that there are some people that are skeptical and think we're overstating this, but Utah was an underachiever last year. You see the guys that they've added. I love everything about the people they brought in. And I know Mike Conley was a few weeks ago. I know that's a little removed from yesterday's madness, but that is a huge upgrade. Utah is really well coached. They know their identity. They had a couple really impressive players. I would not be shocked if that Jazz team becomes this last year's Portland team, underappreciated, small market, makes a really, really deep run. At number 5 is a team that didn't do anything. Not a single move outside of the NBA draft. That's the Denver Nuggets. You know what? Number 2 seed last year, had some of those growing pains in the postseason, that loss to Portland. They kept Millsap, which I love. They stay young. They've got one of the best players, at least emerging players, in the game in Nikola Jokic. Love what Jamal Murray did in the postseason. That experience, that confidence is going to translate. Michael Porter Jr. is cleared to play. We'll see what he looks like in Summer League over the next few weeks. But remember, Porter Jr. out of Missouri might have been a top 3 pick had he been healthy. Denver's got something that's real, that's lasting, and they're working their way to the top of the NBA. Number 5 next year. Mike Malone, by the way, wasn't wrong. I know we focus on the immediate, but Malone wasn't wrong when he talked about the bright, bright future for that Nuggets team.
The future is so bright. I mean, you guys heard me say it all postseason. I love the moment. I love where we're at. But more importantly, I love where we're going and who we're going there with. And that's such a big point of what we're doing here. Just spending time with Mr. Kroenke and Josh and Mr. K said it. We won 61 games this year.
Things don't gel for LeBron and AD right away. If a few other things we're going to hit don't come to fruition, wouldn't be shocked. I mean, it'd be surprising, but it wouldn't be overwhelming if Denver made the finals next year. But now, with the top 4, we get into the big boys. For me, those teams that have an opportunity to win an NBA championship a year from now, we start at number 4 in the Writers' Block NBA Power Rankings. I love what the Sixers did. Re-signing Tobias Harris, big fan. Love that they're going to commit to Ben Simmons. Some reports they're going to try to work with his agent, Rich Paul, to sign a new extension already. You lock in Simmons. Hopefully he develops a jump shot. I don't mind Jimmy Butler going away in large part because Al Horford might be, outside of Kawhi Leonard, who's yet to pick a team, the signing of the year in terms of the impact he's going to have. He's a great defender. He's a great rim protector. He can stretch the floor. He's a winning player. He plays well off the pick and roll. The guy's a professional every single day that he shows up. You're going to allow Simmons to have the ball in his hands more. You're going to be able to load manage Joel Embiid if you want to. And when you roll the entire team, as you can see there, out there, you've got a nice starting 5 with Horford at the 4 and Embiid at the 5. I love the Sixers. And as much as I hated what they were doing, and I thought they were squandering the process, I think I stand corrected. I did not see Horford coming. I love everything about it. And number 3 is a little bit of an asterisk here. Kawhi Leonard's team next year, if it's the Raptors or Clippers, if it's Toronto or it's LA, is the 3rd best team for me in the NBA. The Raptors probably a little bit stronger. The Clippers are not going to have that second superstar. We don't know where Kawhi is going to go. We await word. Of course, we'll let you know as soon as we know here on CBS Sports HQ. And you can see the odds to land Kawhi. Lakers are the favorite, something I reported a few days ago. The Lakers certainly think that's true. The Raptors are still 1-1. I don't love the Clippers' chances any longer because there's not a second star to pair them up with, but we're going to keep them on the list because you never know. Kawhi's a mystery. At number 2, second best team in the NBA and the best team in the Eastern Conference is going to be your Milwaukee Bucks. I don't love that they lost Brogdon, 50, 40, 90 guy, but you know what? You can't keep everybody. They bring in, or they keep Brook Lopez. They bring in Robin Lopez. They pay Chris Middleton. This is a team that was 1 quarter really away from making the NBA Finals. They should have won Game 3. They would have been up 3-0. And like Denver, but a deeper run, young teams and young superstars and Giannis have to learn through heartache as much as they do from success how to be NBA champions. I love that the Bucks didn't panic. My colleague Rick Hamilton made this exact point. Sometimes GMs get close and then they get smoked, and they lost 4 games in a row in that conference finals, and they pushed the panic button. Nope. They're calm in Milwaukee. John Horst knows what he's doing. This Bucks team's going to take a huge leap forward. They like each other. They know each other. They're going to miss Brogdon, especially his shooting. But I love what Milwaukee's putting together with that organization. That patience plan is going to pay off. And finally, the best team in the NBA next year is going to be, here in Los Angeles, the Los Angeles Lakers. I know, there's not a lot of depth. LeBron and AD are a ridiculous fit, and they still have room for another max player. Here's the thing, and we don't know. We don't know what's going to happen. But it really feels like Kawhi Leonard. Let's walk through the pieces a little bit here. I've got sources telling me the Lakers are utterly confident they're going to get Kawhi Leonard. And the reality is, and we saw this yesterday, if you're watching CBS Sports HQ's NBA Draft Frenzy, you know that these guys collude, players collude, they talk in advance, they know what's going on when they're not supposed to, they plan to team up. The fact that not a single guy named Jimmy Butler or Al Horford or any of these other mid-level stars, top stars, max-level guys, near-max guys went to the Clippers, to me, is because Kawhi Leonard's not going to be a Clipper. I think that's been decided. Best guess. That leaves the Raptors and that leaves the Lakers. It could be Toronto. Kawhi Leonard's an interesting guy. People change their minds. We saw that a few years ago from DeAndre Jordan. So maybe he can be a Raptor. I think the Lakers are the best team in the NBA even without him. And I think there's a real chance he's going to be there. And we're going to have the best and most talented big three we've ever seen. So to recap it, here's my top 10 teams in the NBA as currently constructed. Give me Lakers 1, Milwaukee 2, Kawhi's team, which obviously could merge with the Lakers over the next few days. Love the Sixers. Nuggets stand pat. They've got a process that's going to work. I think the Jazz can make a big jump. We always doubt the Trailblazers. I think the Rockets and the Warriors begin to fade. The Rockets because of age, the Warriors because of moves I find baffling. And while the Celtics probably want to be higher than 10, it's about as good as they can do when Al Horford and Kyrie Irving decided they want to be somewhere else. As moves happen, as more trades, as more free agency happens, we're going to keep you updated right here on CBS Sports HQ. Will be your spot to turn. Whenever Kawhi Leonard, that crazy laugh and all, makes his decision where he wants to play, we will let you know. We're going to turn in the meantime to a little bit of football talk. James Conner, Steelers running back, going to join me on the program. It's Writer's Block. I'm Bill Reiter, and we'll be back with James Conner here in just a minute. All right, welcome back into Los Angeles, California. I'm Bill Reiter. Thanks for being here. Really excited to be joined by James Conner, the Pittsburgh Steelers running back, who joins us thanks to our friends at Polaris Slingshot. James, thanks for making time for us.
Yeah, no problem. Thank you for having me.
I love your story. You've come back from 2 torn MCL tears. You've survived cancer. How have those real-life scares, one off the field, one on the field, made it possible for you to have the kind of success that you've had, maybe giving you some perspective as you built for yourself a really impressive NFL career?
Yeah, I just got, been through a lot of, but it's like my own motivation. I use that every day to keep me going, and I just look at it like I get a second chance. So, I try to do all the right things and just work really hard because I know, nothing is promised now, So I just got a different perspective on it. So, been through a lot, but I'm thankful for it all, and we're here today.
Talented football team. Obviously, a lot of changes. Le'Veon Bell was gone, but now it's official. Antonio Brown is gone. What are the expectations that Steelers fans should have for this group with the new look going forward?
Our expectations stay the same, and that's to compete for a trophy. So, people are gone, but other people are going to step up. And so, looking forward to it. I look forward to the training camp and just being around my teammates again and continue to develop those relationships and just working hard with each other and, we try to do something special.
James, I've heard some people say the hardest thing in any endeavor, sports and otherwise, is to get to that top of the mountain. I've heard other people say it's staying at the top of the mountain. For you, you're coming off a really successful 2018. What do you feel, what's your mindset in trying to keep where you are, to stay where you are, to continue to have that level of high success?
Man, you just continue to do the basics right. Continue to do the small things, the small details, make the big things happen. So, every year you just try to work a little bit harder. As you get more comfortable in your offense and continue to work. So, that's about it. You just stick to the basics and just do those things right.
There's always going to be drama in any workplace, any locker room, but what you do for a living, often it's going to be public because we, the media, are covering it. What was your reaction to that Antonio Brown drama as it played out in his eventual trade?
I really didn't have much reaction to it. Didn't know he's we're going to miss him. He's a great person, was a great teammate, still going to have a friendship. But he moved on and we had to do the same thing. So, that's all it's about. Best of luck to him, but, Steelers got to do, what we got to do.
When something like that happens, did you just send AB a congratulations note, or once he's, at least in a football sense, playing for the enemy, is it radio silence? What's the move when a guy like that gets traded to a team you're going to face?
I told him best of luck, and I told him, he taught me a tremendous work ethic. I put it on Instagram a while back. Said I took away a great work ethic from him. So, it's best of luck to him. But we gotta just play Steeler football now.
He goes west, closer to home. The Browns have loaded up on a lot of talent. The Ravens have a new look offense with Lamar Jackson. The Bengals have a new head coach. What are your expectations in a pretty interesting and in several cases competitive AFC North?
Yeah, it's definitely going to be a really competitive. Just a lot of competition. But that's what brings the best out of people. And so, those teams in our division are very talented. And so, with those games, we're talented too. It's just going to be the team who makes the fewest mistakes will come out on top. So they're going to come to play. We'll come to play, and we'll see what happens.
We've got the NFL's top 100 coming out. Do you vote in that, or do you have a perspective on where guys should be ranked?
Yeah, I got perspective on it. It depends on what position you're talking about.
Where do you think your fellow players should have voted for you? Where do you think they did vote for you?
Well, it's tough. I was having a good year, and then, it was like right at 1,000 yards, and then I missed 3 games. I would have had well over 1,000 yards, but, it's no good to talk about what you would have done. Things going to happen. So, it's like different. Had I not got hurt, I've been a lot higher than what I think I will be. Top 100 alone in itself, just being an NFL football player, it's what we do, and I'm used to it now, but, it's still a blessing every day. I always, think of it like that. And so, no matter where I'm at on the list, I'm going to be thankful for it. Even if I'm on the top 100, that's a credit. Even if I'm number 100, that's a credit in itself.
Who would you, James, who would you put at number 1 if you were voting?
Who would I put at number 1? Probably Aaron Donald. It's my former Pitt teammate. It's like a big brother to me. 2-time Defensive Player of the Year. Just incredible person and player. And so, I got to say, probably Aaron Donald.
He's a beast. Before we let you go, please tell us what you're doing with Polaris Slingshot.
Yeah, partner with Polaris Slingshot. It's a Summer of Fun campaign, man. It's been awesome what they're doing. You can go to the local dealership and take a test drive, and you can enter for a free trip to Hawaii. All you got to do is go to PolarisSlingshot.com and find out more details and information about it. But, man, it's been awesome. You see the ride behind me, 3 wheels. It's safe, man. It's a Summer of Fun. So go take a test drive at the dealership, and you can enter a free trip to Hawaii to ride around that, see all the beautiful scenery there.
James Conner, I appreciate the time. Congratulations on all your success and continued success, and good luck to you and the Steelers this upcoming season. Thanks for being here.
Yes, sir. Thank you for having me.
James Conner on the show. Thanks to our friends again at Polaris Slingshot. Appreciate his time, appreciate his perspective. We're going to turn back to a little NBA talk, given the craziness of free agency. The New York Knicks, what the numbers tell us about that organization and the reason things aren't going to get better anytime soon. I'll explain when we come back to the program here in just a minute. All right, welcome back into the show. We've hit the best teams in the NBA and talked to one of the most interesting running backs with one of the best teams in the NFL. Let's take a different turn. Let's go to one of the most hapless organizations in sports. It's the Knicks. We're going to go inside the numbers on their free agency debacle and what it's looked like for this organization for a long time. How about $69.8 million to start off the numbers? Coming into free agency this offseason, the Knicks had almost $70 million in cap space, enough room to sign 2 max contracts. As of today, they have signed no such players or talent. Next up is 23.9. The Knicks will at least be one of the youngest teams in the NBA next season. Congratulations, Knicks fans. Their current roster has an average age of 23.9, including 11 players 23 or younger. Sounds right, 24 years old, 24 wins next year. How about 97? The current Knicks roster is lacking in playoff experience, to say the least. They combined for a total of 97 playoff games, played with 66 of them coming from free agent signing Taj Gibson. For comparison's sake, Steph Curry has played in 112 playoff games alone. And finally, the number 46. It's been a long time since the Knicks have won an NBA title. Their last championship was 46 years ago over the Lakers in 1973. Let me keep this brief. Don't need to belabor this point. But the reality is that guys in the NBA talk, and when you're poorly run, when you forcibly remove guys like Charles Oakley from the building, James Dolan, your organization, after he played for you, when leading up to free agency, you exclude some newspaper and look petty and small in the NBA to fine you $50,000, people, players, max guys around the NBA, their agents, tell people like me and other folks, the Knicks are such a mess, we just don't want to go that close. And then when you won't offer Kevin Durant a max deal, it shows the rest of the league, whether KD takes the deal or not, that you're just not serious. You're a joke. Literally, James Dolan, your organization is a joke. As in, when I ask people about you sources, all they do is laugh. If James Dolan doesn't look in the mirror, if he doesn't have a little self-awareness and humility from this free agency period, Knicks fans, welcome to the rest of your life. And I don't love it. I'd love the Knicks to be good. Thank you for hanging out here on the show. I'm Bill Reiter. The show is Writer's Block. Lots of NBA analysis and talk over the next few days for you. We're going back now, sending things back to Fort Lauderdale, Florida. They'll catch up what's trending in the world of sports and Sportsline in 30 minutes. Thanks for being here. We'll see you tomorrow at 5 Eastern.